What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Sleuth Intuition channel. Today will be about an hour. Today's live stream will be about an hour long. All right, good to see everybody. Today we're going to go over some updates. One involving the Delphi murders, the other involving the Rachel Morin case. Two cases that we've been covering here recently. Good to see you, Wanda, Miss Dog Lover, Kevin, GP, Devoted. Hey, Don. Good to see you, V. Cheeks, what up? Hey, Jill. And Anna. Welcome, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. So I think we'll do a quick little overview of the case, Rachel Morin's case, a little bit of the information that's out there now. Then I'll go ahead and go over my notes about the updated information. What's up, Katie? Good to see you, Jerry. And 517. So we'll give it a few minutes. We'll let people have an opportunity to make it to the live stream. And if you're watching this on replay, shout out to you guys as well. What's up, Marbles? Good to see you. Thanks for all your help recently, Marbles. I appreciate that. Good. Good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, and if I miss anything, I didn't take the best notes, but I think I'm going to cover all the important information that they're trying to convey to the public. But if I miss anything, I know you guys will help me out in the chat. So this is a group effort. They got to catch this guy. And it sounds like they're making some headway here. They're doing their due diligence, but there are some strange facts about the case that were just revealed. And I want to get your opinion about it. What's up, Pam? Good to see you. I'm doing well. I'm doing great. Thank you, V. Yeah, hit that like button if you guys could. Baby Doll says trail, the Mom Pa Trail. Over there in Bel Air, Maryland. We'll watch a quick little report. I think this is just after they discovered him. They interviewed the people who found Rachel. Well, I think they interviewed the father of the person who actually found Rachel. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that now. And if you have any questions about the case, just punch them in there. We'll help you out.
I had never walked it myself.
For Michael Gabrzeski,
I told my stepdaughter, I said, look, it's not going to be laying out in the open.
the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air, uncharted territory.
I said, she's going to be tucked away somewhere.
But the former National Park search and rescue officer has extensive experience tracking down missing people.
So basically, it's my passion to bring closure to that family by bringing her back and not having them wonder what happened.
Following reports, 37-year-old Rachel Morin left for a walk and never returned, Gabrzeski and his stepdaughter taking off on a search rooted on instinct.
I just kept seeing tunnels.
Hey,
in my
Boston.
mind. I don't know why.
This dude's
I
like
just kept
psychic or
seeing
something.
tunnels.
Despite law enforcement swarming
He's
the
got that
area for almost
intuition.
a full day, Gabrzeski's stepdaughter locating the body in about an hour. The deadly
Stepdaughter.
discovery.
Once we got down there and I
His
started
stepdaughter
seeing
found
them
her.
tunnels, I started getting goosebumps.
Made in a tunnel drain not far from the trail's main entrance.
I saw a terrible mess.
Gabrzeski's visions meeting the reality of a gruesome scene.
There's not going to be an open casket. I can guarantee you that.
He says Morin's body found in a pool of blood, suffering severe head trauma, an injury he believes could be the result of a rock.
My daughter said that there was a big rock down there that was all caked in blood.
I understand many of you want answers, and we do too.
The latest update from the Harford County Sheriff's Department declining to mention how Morin died and not yet naming a suspect. This is Morin's
Baltimore.
boyfriend quickly taking to social media, proclaiming his innocence. Richard Tobin writing, quote, "I love Rachel. I would never do anything to her. Let the family and I grieve."
I mean, it could have been his way of grieving, but it's not about you. It's about her. It's about bringing her home. And somebody's mother, somebody's daughter. She left behind 5 children.
Whoever the killer is, Gabrzeski convinced it's someone with close ties to the victim.
Because it's too personal. If somebody were just to do a thrill kill, it wouldn't be as brutal.
So there's a quick overview, some information about the case. What's up, Dawn? Dawn is saying, I'm seeing 2 different sketches of the crime scene with Abby on the left and Libby on the right. Drunk Turkey, Abby is on the right, and Libby, where does this come from? Comes from lack of information provided by the defense. They didn't say whether she was on the left or the right. And I'm also seeing a lot of people putting the stick placement over the right shoulder. In the memorandum, it clearly states the stick was over her left shoulder. So it's just discrepancies like that. The human factor. And I blame it on just lack of information in that memorandum, in my opinion. Yeah, Devoted. It's a horrible crime. And the killer's still out there, and he might be like a serial type attacker. Okay, so part 1 of the update for Rachel Morin is they did up the reward from $10,000 to $20,000. So anybody out there that might have information on this guy here to the right, basically he's a monster. You'd be doing the world a favor. I mean, just take a real close look at him. He's been in California and he's been in Maryland. All you got to do is call this number or shoot an email over, and all this money right here is yours. Could do a lot of good with that. All it takes is 1 phone call. It's not that hard. Who we missing here? What's up, Tattoo? Welcome in. And Mama Styles. Don says originally was very suspect of that guy on Rachel Morin talking about his daughter finding her. Yeah, but you got to remember, sleuthing is about layers. And lazy sleuthing is about ignoring layers, you know? And you got to try to fight your urges, your initial instincts, but don't forget them. Because sometimes they could be right. But just because somebody's kind of strange or looking weird, they found the body. Some people are just like that. You know, that doesn't make them killers. Usually the killer is the nice guy. You know, the guy that's bringing gifts for your kids and offering his help. And, oh, you guys can go out on a date night. Don't worry. I don't mind babysitting. That's the creepo. It's not the hippie guy with all the rings on his fingers. It's the people who try to hide it. I mean, of course, there are some exceptions. Some people will wear it on their sleeve, you know, It's just part of who they are. But typically, these guys try to hide in plain sight. Yeah, it's fairly likely that his family knows. And I mean, why can't they use that money? Whoever turns this guy in deserves that money. Just because you know this guy and it's hard for you to tip him in doesn't mean that that doesn't belong to you. This guy is going to hurt somebody. And it seems like he's evolving. It's going from home invasion, sexual assaults to just full blown murder. There is probably a good chance that he's already hurt somebody again. And it says here you can contribute to this fund if you guys want to help make it bigger. So anybody out there that has those fat pockets and they're passionate about helping in these kinds of cases, here's your chance. I think a nice $50,000, making it an even $70K might entice somebody. Welcome in, Mama. Sorry, I'm all over the place here. Thanks, sweets. Yeah, if you guys could hit the like button. Easiest way to support my channel. Hey, what up, Steffa? How you doing? Welcome in. Yeah, somebody knows this guy. Just think about it. This guy here on the right may have killed this person on the left who was a mother of 5 kids. That's her lineage. Traumatized offspring. Thanks to this man here. Yeah, Mama. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does. You know, some creeps don't hide it. But just because you look a certain way doesn't mean that you are a creep. Some of the nicest people look like the roughest. And just because they can kick your ass doesn't mean that they're going out looking for a fight. Flight attendant. Ooh, I like that. Are you saying him? This person? Somebody that travels? That's interesting. Not sure that's what you meant, but okay. So let's go on to the next part of her updates. All right, let's start here. Let me pull up a little image for you. So if any of you have seen this video, okay, we always thought it was the victim here. Well, I did anyway, who was shutting the door. Well, this is a male, and there was apparently some other people at the home. So detectives have spoken with this person. Let's see. Sheriff Jeff Gawler says that's not the victim's arm and has spoken to the man, and he is not a suspect. So what I'm seeing is like maybe a little party. You know, there's a little get together. The parents are gone. These people aren't supposed to be having a gathering. And this guy's walking by, sees the gathering, maybe some people out front smoking cigarettes, some girls. And I think his home invasion was really just sneaking into the party. People do that all the time. You know, you see a crowded house and you just kind of sneak on in. Especially if he's already drunk or something, you know. Okay. And this person did not know the attacker. And they haven't said anything about providing a sketch. If they could provide a sketch, I think News Nation asked them, like, hey, are they gonna give us a sketch? What's going on? We only got the side view. If these guys got a good look at him, why are you not providing a sketch of the face, right? And also, investigators were led to Chicago. So I find it interesting that people who were attending this little gathering when this happened are from all over the United States. So what is that all about? Is it like an Airbnb? Was there some type of function going on nearby? I mean, why would they be going to Maryland, to California, and then now to Chicago? So somebody that was attending this little gathering, they basically didn't contact him, but investigators from Maryland went into Chicago and basically surprised this person, interviewed them, do not consider them a suspect, doesn't know this person, but they weren't sure at the time, doesn't know him at all, was just attending this function or whatever was going on in this home. They don't want to give too much information because they're still doing their investigation in California. This is Sheriff Jeff Gawler. Just for your information. Yeah, that's interesting, baby doll. That would explain, the distance. We know a lot of serial killers and people like this are truckers, because it's easier for them to get away with it. They're traveling all over the country. I guess that same goes for flight attendants. I'm liking that theory. There's plenty of male flight attendants. Devoted says, man, if that ever happened to my mom, I'd be catching a charge and going away for life. Well, if you could find the guy, gotta find him first. Yeah, I second that. Yes, clean cut, unassuming, coast to coast. Yeah, I think the haircut, I think the lighting might be very deceiving. I hate that light is so bright. Let's take a look at that. Let me put him on here. Then at the 30-minute mark, we're going to move on to Delphi. Okay, so there is the suspect. So they're making it seem as if he just kind of snuck into this get together. And maybe the assault was with somebody who was maybe passed out. Sweets. That's funny. Profilers are saying he blends in well. I just don't know about that haircut. I just have a feeling the light is making it look much worse than it actually is. Like it looks butchered. Okay, so maybe they didn't know there was a sexual assault at the time, right? This guy's creeping into some party, attacks some girl who's passed out in the back room or on a couch or something. And then she wakes up and is like, I think this guy just assaulted me. And then they kick him out. Or maybe she didn't even know until the following day, like, somebody raped me. And then these people are like, well, there was some creepy guy we found just walking around. But he's like half dressed here, so I don't know. Maybe they caught him in the act. Oh yeah, taking medication so they can get through a polygraph, things like that. Too fit to be a truck driver. Well, he's a young person. Truck drivers don't get fat until they're about 40. Cruise ships. Mm, yeah, I was thinking maybe like a migrant. I don't know. Was there any big projects going on near Maryland, and then in maybe in California at the time? So I know a lot of people, they just travel wherever the work is. They make good money. I like that, baby doll. It makes sense. It would explain the traveling. So I think it's a good idea. I think your mind is in the right place, if not dead on. Somebody recognizes this person, and they know why he was in Maryland, and they know why he was in California, and they might know where he is now. 20 grand could change your life. And what's he going to do? He'll be behind bars. Can't hurt you. Hasn't done trucking long enough. Yeah, it takes a while. Took me a while to get a beer gut, and it took me almost just as long. Well, I guess it's not gone yet, but I'm getting there. Yeah, JW, that's another problem. We got the border wide open. He could just leave and come back when he wants. Who's going to stop him? That's something that needs to be solved at the voting booth, I think. Hey, Colette. Yeah, where's he going? If he is somebody who's traveling with the work, I think we should look maybe for some big projects around the United States, because they'll pay big money to get you out there. So is there any like big projects going on? Any large builds, you know, where they're requesting work from all over the country? Maybe get a hold of those people that are in charge and put this guy's picture all over the place over there. In the airports even. Hey, what's up, Vincina? Good to see you. What's up, Shadow? You're almost at the halfway point. We're finishing up discussing the updates in the Rachel Morin case. They upped the reward from 10 to 20. They have ID'd the person whose arm we see in that video. It was not the victim, it was a male. The male does not know the suspect, and the male is not considered a suspect himself. And somebody else that was at this gathering, for some reason, I think lives in Chicago. So why was he in Chicago here? So yeah, that would make sense. A bunch of flight attendants. But then they would know this guy. I'm telling you, this case is crazy. We need to try to spread this information out as far as you can. But apparently the investigation led them to somebody in Chicago. They showed up unannounced. The investigators from Maryland interviewed this person who was at this gathering, says, yeah, remember seeing the person, doesn't know him. They're not considering this person a suspect. So it sounds like they thought maybe he would have known him. Maybe this guy was a friend of a friend that showed up. Chopper says this case gone quiet. Well, it seems like they're in the process of doing kind of in the interview process, trying to get all their ducks in a row. I'm wondering if just one piece of information could just kind of break something loose. Hey, Linda. You're watching me on TV? Hi, Linda. Shout out to Linda. That's interesting. Linda says, "Good morning. I'm watching you on TV, but came on to say my husband works Windmill Farms. We travel all over. Windmill Farms. What's that? Do you guys hire immigrants? Is it like a temporary gig? How does that work? That's interesting. Because I get the feeling this person is traveling. Online dating. So when he travels to that city, they meet up. Okay. I like Baby Doll. I like the way your mind works. Because a lot of these catfish types, they'll travel. They'll drive 24 hours to meet a 13-year-old person. Male or female. They'll drive all day, 1,000 miles. One guy drove from the East Coast to the West Coast after catfishing and starting a catfish relationship with a young girl, kidnapped her, killed her entire family, burned them alive, and then drove her all the way back to the East Coast, where he had basically a dungeon ready. Good police work solved that case. V says, "Why can't whoever opened that door do a composite sketch?" Sorry, I don't know much about this case. Exactly. I was thinking the same thing. In News Nation, they said it. They like read my mind. I was watching the report. I was like, well, where the hell is this sketch? Give us some facial features. So hopefully they're working on that. I'm not sure. Yeah, if there was a whole group of people there, like, tell us what he looked like. Did he have a beard? Did he have a mustache? Did he have a large nose, a wide nose, pouty lips? Did he have any markings? Like, where is the sketch? Day late and a dollar short. I haven't heard that in a while. Yeah, this case needs a lot of help. Yeah, that's a good theory, Baby Doll. Baby Doll says maybe he was going to meet up with Rachel, but then her and Richard announced being in a relationship online. I don't know. I think he just tried to meet up with her and she didn't want to, she thought she was going to get to know somebody maybe, you know, just kind of playing into that theory. Because I have heard that she was online dating. She's not married, she can date who she wants. And if she's out going for a walk, that sounds like a good first date, public place. It's a long trail, give you an opportunity to learn a lot about this other person. And then when you get back to your vehicle, you can make the decision. Would you like to, you want to go have lunch? You want to have dinner? Or, you're a little bit weird, I'll give you a call, and then zip on out. So maybe during this hike, they get to a very secluded location and she doesn't want to do all the physical stuff. She wants to get to know somebody. She's got a family. She's got kids. She's not bringing just some random guy into her home. She's trying to get to know this person. That's not what he's there for, So I think that's a good theory. Hopefully they can maybe find something off of her devices. Yeah, so maybe this guy has an anchor point and maybe it's somewhere in between Maryland and California. So wherever he's going, he's always got to come back to his resources at that anchor point. So maybe it's somewhere in between California and Maryland. And he's just traveling to commit these attacks. JW says the administration is moving them around the country. I don't know if the administration, I think some states are, but I was thinking about that yesterday. I was like, I wonder if he was transferred somewhere through all of that. Because this case is very new, happened in August. That's right, smack dab in the middle of that whole like migrant crisis. And he is Hispanic. And I don't know if they got that from the language, the witnesses, or DNA. Chicago has 2 major airports. Yeah, they need to get this up and they need to get working on that sketch. We should already have that sketch. Even if it's just super basic. Is he clean cut or does he have a beard? That's interesting. Steffa says Baltimore and Southern Cal are both Navy areas. Yeah, he looks like about that age, right? Where he could be in the Navy. So I think it is important to look at the traveling aspect. Yep, and they could just run and nobody really can tie them to the crime scene. Linda says these windmill farms also setting up in Arizona and New Mexico. So when you're talking about a job like you are, I see it. Okay. So people travel for work, a lot of different types of jobs. Do we even agree that he's traveling? I mean, why would he be in California and then Maryland? And then now they're even interested in talking to somebody that's in Chicago. So it's like nobody was at where they were supposed to be when these things happened. Well, at least the incident in California anyway. Later, Linda. Thanks for stopping by. All right, guys, we are going to go ahead and get into the Delphi case and those updates. We are at the 30-minute mark. All right, so the Frank Meister over there at the True Crime Talk with Frank Meister sent me over the state's objection to the defendant's motion to suppress. Basically, their rebuttal to the recent memorandum put forth by the defense team of Richard Allen. What's going on, Julia? The travel angle is very possible. I travel for work to several properties all over the U.S. and return to the same locations. I mean, there's got to be a reason. Was he on vacation? Is he from Maryland and he was on vacation in California? Is he from California and was on vacation in Maryland? Does he live in either one of those locations? Hey, what's up, Tech Death? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he switched up his parents. What's going on, TTM? Hey, good to see you, Anthony. Okay, so before we move on, let's just go ahead and show this one more time. Okay, so anybody out there with information that can lead to the arrest or identity of this person here, who they believe is responsible for the murder of Rachel Morin, you have a reward of $20,000. Just got to contact this information here, 410-836-7788 or rmtips@hartfordsheriff.org. And if you want to make this reward bigger, go to this website right here at the bottom. you're in a position to contribute to that, help entice somebody to do the right thing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and read this. It's 7 pages. State's second objection to the defendant's motion to suppress. And we pull it up on the screen for you if you guys want to read along. All right, so this one is dated the 25th. Yeah, we need a sketch or a description, some kind of description. Did he have stubble? Did he have just a mustache, goatee? Was he, what were the shape of his lips? What was his nose? What did his nose look like? Chopper says, I don't think many people know about the case in other states. Yeah, I keep hearing that about the DNA, baby doll. I keep getting mixed information on that. Whether or not they can access that or if it's even in the database. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's get going just because we don't have that much time here. Leaving in about 15, 20 minutes. Okay, state's second objection to defendant's motion to suppress. We grease the pipe. Now comes the state of Indiana by prosecuting attorney Nicholas C. McClellan and respectfully objects to the defendant's amended motion to suppress and would ask the court to deny the same in support of said motion, states the following. Okay, so let's see what the prosecution had to say about the little stunt the defense team pulled here. Okay, so it says here that on May 19th, 2023, the defendant filed a motion to suppress the evidence seized as a result of the search warrant executed on the home of the defendant. That on September 13th, 2023, the defendant filed an amended motion to suppress the evidence seized as a result of the search warrant executed on the home of the defendant. That the defense alleges that the search warrant is unconstitutional because the issuance of the search warrant was a result of improper ex parte application and that the affiant, Sheriff Tony Leggett, failed to advise the judge of material faces and made false, misleading representation with reckless disregard for the truth, and that without these false and misleading representations and omissions, the search warrant would not have been issued. Remember, they're talking about the crime scene staging and the Odinism stuff. Well, why would they include something that they don't agree with? That doesn't make any sense. This is commonly referred to as a Franks versus Delaware argument. And we've kind of gone over that, what a Franks hearing is. The per Franks case, the defense attack must be based on deliberate falsehood or acts of reckless disregard for the truth, and those allegations must be accompanied by an offer of proof, which I didn't see any of that. That the claim should point out specifically the portion of the warrant affidavit that is claimed to be false, accompanied by a statement supporting reasons. That further, this should be supported by affidavits or sworn statements or other reliable statements from witnesses or an explanation for their absence. So the defense is quoting generic items. Oh, he says he still has a blue jacket. Well, I'm pretty sure everybody in the world has a blue jacket. Well, he still has guns and knives. Okay. Well, a lot of men have guns and knives in their home. So the defense is saying, well, those are all generic items. And also, they're not providing their own interviews, right? They're not providing their own transcripts. They're just kind of going through evidence and telling a different story. So they don't have anything to back up what they're saying. They're just using the investigators' own information against them. So they don't have anything new. They're just giving their own interpretation of what is already there. And I think that's what they're trying to say here from the prosecution. That the defense has filed such a memorandum outlining their beliefs of what was omitted and false. That once again, while the memorandum is colorful, dramatic, and highly unprofessional, it is not completely true. And we've already found so many lies. Yesterday we did a live stream on the stuff they were saying about Patrick Westfall. They have to spin everything, and we're already breaking it apart. It's like they tell only half of the story. Not even half. They kind of create a new story off of information that's been spoon-fed to them by weird YouTubers. That the state believes the allegations outlined by the defense not supported by the evidence they have collected. The Sheriff Tony Leggett did not intentionally or recklessly omit evidence or lie about evidence in the probable cause affidavit to support the search warrant. The defense also alleges that the search warrant was unreasonable under the Indiana and federal constitution and that it lacked probable cause, that it failed to establish that the items to be seized were in the residence or could be expected to be in the residence, that the affidavit failed to provide particular information that particular items related to the particular crime would be found in the home, that the affidavit failed to connect generic items, like I mentioned, to actual items that were possibly used in the crime. Blue jacket, random knives, no specific. They're saying, hey, the defense is saying they're not looking for a specific knife. They're just using a broad brush, like, oh, well, we'll go ahead and we'll just test all of his knives. And they're saying, well, we need specifics. What are you specifically looking for? But now we know they were specifically looking for a gun that could chamber a .40 caliber bullet, which they found. That in 2017 interview, Richard Allen admitted to being on the trail that day that Abby and Libby went missing, that he stated that he was on the trail between 1:30 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. and that while he was on the trail, he was using his phone. The defense is trying to say that he left at 1:30 and that the question was, were you there between 1:30 and 3:30 p.m.? And his answer was yes. Not that he was there until 3:30, but yeah, between 3:30. Well, I left at 3. He's trying to say, well, I left around like 1:32. So yeah, I guess that's between 1:30 and 3:30 p.m., which is just sounds like horseshit. And while he was on the trail, he was using his phone, right? We all can assume what he was doing with that phone. He was most likely tracking them or waiting for them to post on social media that they were there. That October 13th, 2022, investigators invited Richard Allen and his wife, Kathy Allen, to speak to them and follow up on the interview done in 2017. That both Richard Allen and Kathy Allen came to the interview on their own on October 13th, 2022. They were not under arrest and were free to leave the interview at any time. The investigators learned from those interviews that Richard Allen reaffirmed that he was in fact on the trails the day that Abby and Libby went missing and further admitted to being on the High Bridge. What he also told investigators that he was wearing blue jeans and a blue or black Carhartt jacket with a hood, that he was wearing a head covering. That further, Richard stated he did not own guns, or that he did own guns, and that the guns were in his home. That investigators learned from Kathy that Richard Allen still had guns and knives in the home along with the blue Carhartt jacket. So I think it's important to know that now that he's in that investigation room and they're asking him like, hey, do you still own a gun? if they don't act quickly, it's gonna start clicking in his head that, hey, they know that I have this gun and somehow it's tied to that crime scene. I need to get rid of it. Not to mention, there was a handful of YouTubers before Richard Allen, like weeks before Richard Allen was even questioned. They were out blabbing about this 40 caliber unspent shell that they had uncovered in the investigation that they didn't want to talk about. Well, now we know why, because imagine if he would have seen some of those videos and went and destroyed his Sig Sauer after watching a YouTube video that says, oh, we know they have a bullet. This man wouldn't even be in jail right now. That investigators believed a firearm was involved in the abduction and murder of Abigail Williams and Liberty German because an unspent 40 caliber round was found between the bodies of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. So it doesn't matter what picture you paint, no matter what, at the end of the day, you have to explain that. There's no way. Well, first they have to convince the jury, right, that it is a thumbprint from a firearm that cannot be argued away. It's 100% a match and belongs to that firearm. So once they convince the jury of that, which won't be hard because it is pretty much solid, they're not going to have a hard time convincing the jury of that. Now you have to ask yourself, why would a bullet coming out of Richard Allen's gun be in between two dead girls, right? Now that's why the defense wants to get rid of the search warrant, because everything that the nails in Richard Allen's coffin were found in that search. And I believe it's as simple as that gun, maybe nothing else. That's all they need. Investigators believe that a knife was used in the murder of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. So if he says he has knives, wouldn't it be important if he's their suspect to go look and test those? Because it might lead to evidence in a murder. That's why they searched Ron Logan's property. That the clothes that Richard Allen described wearing that day he was on the trails matched the description of the man seen on the bridge from the video taken by Liberty German's phone. That it was also gathered that Richard Allen still possessed the firearms, knives, and the clothing and said items in the house. That based on this information, investigators prepared a probable cause affidavit with the search warrant for the home of Richard Allen. That the probable cause affidavit covers all the information that law enforcement had gathered in the investigation in regards to Richard Allen up until October 13th, 2022. That the probable cause affidavit outlines evidence that established probable cause to search the home of Richard Allen. That investigators applied for the search warrant on October 13th, 2022, and the same was granted that day by Carroll County Circuit Court Judge Benjamin Diener. Investigators went to the residence of the defendant located at 1967 North Whiteman Drive, Delphi, Indiana, and I think the home has been sold. I could be wrong, but I think I saw something online where it had changed hands. Knocked on the door and executed the search warrant on October 13th, 2022. The defendant and his wife were asked to be out of the residence while the search warrant was executed, but were allowed back in the residence immediately afterward. Good to see you, Nobody Nothing, 1717. Welcome. Who else did I miss? Tech Death says, why did he keep the gun? I don't think he knew where that bullet went. I don't think it registered. And even if it did, he's like, I didn't fire it. They can't trace it back. A lot of people believe you have to fire the gun in order for them to trace it to your weapon. It's not true. All you have to do is cycle it through the gun. Thank you, Colette. I appreciate that. Thank you, Sweets. Yeah, if you guys could hit the like button. Hey, Boston, sponsoring today's live stream. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Taco Fall is in the building. This is reality. Welcome. Yeah, I don't think he acted alone. I think he had help luring those girls to that area. Thanks, Vic. Appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't know a whole lot either, Don. That's what I thought. I didn't know that ejector marks on a bullet could be traced back. But apparently anything basically made of metal can be traced back to specific pieces of machinery. All right, we're all caught up on the chat. Investigators found several items in the residence, including a .40 caliber firearm and electronic devices, all of which are outlined in the search warrant. They keep mentioning these electronic devices. I think they're going to go back. I think something that we haven't heard about is the fact that they were able to track Richard Allen. So they might know exactly where he was, like in the general area at a specific time. Why else would they keep mentioning these devices? That for a search warrant to be valid, it must be accompanied by an affidavit that establishes probable cause, which is sufficient basis of fact that exists to permit a reasonable, prudent person to believe that a search of the premises will uncover evidence of a crime. Thank you, Farmer. We got 2 sponsors. Shout out to Boston and Farmer. Holding it down. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think this was them trying to suppress anything. I have a feeling that there might be some truth to what they're saying. And if other people are involved, this could be his way of laying the groundworks for a plea deal. Like, I can easily become a witness for you guys if you give me a deal. And then we can close this all up. And the defense doesn't even need to know that. That could be Richard Allen's strategy. He's had plenty of time to think about it. Hey, what up, Frank? Yeah, I just gave you a shout out. Thanks for sending me these documents the other day. I appreciate that. You're always on top of it, man. Oh, Freckle Joy coming through with the big super sticker. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all that support. Can't do this without you guys, honestly. Okay, so this is just jargon here. Basically telling you what probable cause is, what it needs to be, what it can't be, what it should be. But there are some more details here coming up. Basically, they're making a list of what the defense did not include and what they got right and why it's legit. Okay, this is interesting here. That the state believes that the affidavit provides particular information that particular items related to a particular crime will be found in the home based on the statements made by Richard Allen and his wife Kathy Allen, not on generic reasons. That the state believes that the affidavit connects generic items to actual items that were possibly used in the crime based on the investigators' evidence that they gathered throughout the investigation. That the evidence that was gathered in 2017 was reaffirmed by the interview done by Richard Allen and his wife Kathy Allen on October 13th, 2022. Investigators believed now this is interesting. Investigators believed at the time that they had enough probable cause to apply for a search warrant. Investigators also believed that if they did not execute a search warrant on the residence immediately, that there was a danger that the defendant would destroy crucial evidence in the investigation. The investigators believed through their training and experience that there was a real chance that the defendant would destroy evidence once he knew he was a suspect in the crime. All right, and that's pretty much it, guys. They're not going to make some fancy rebuttal or, they're not going to do anything like that. Because anybody who's not trying to be one of those I told you so types can see through what this really is, right? Now, does that mean that it's what the defense put out in that memorandum is all false? No, like I told you, I believe that there's a chance that Richard Allen has his own strategy and he's kind of spoon feeding this all, And I think eventually he's going to provide some other names. And they may or may not be some of the names that we've heard in that memorandum. Yeah, shout out to Frank Meister. All right, guys, it's our 5-minute warning. Wish I had more time today. I got to go run some chores, got some yard work, spend some time with my baby. All right, guys, if you could please hit the like button on the way out. Ooh, shout out to V. Marie. Shout out to V. Marie, Freckled Joy, my guy Farmer, and Boston Christian. Thank you guys for sponsoring today's live stream. Like I said, I can't do it without you guys. Definitely couldn't be spending all this time looking into true crime if it wasn't for your help. Yeah, everybody in the Midwest has a blue jacket, a big knife, and a pistol. It's just the way it is. Yeah, the weather's definitely changing, Farmer. All right, guys, hit that like button on the way out. Replay crew, let me know what you think. If you could spread around that information about the reward going from 10,000 to 20,000 for Rachel Morin, and share those images if you could. Why would Richard Allen still be withholding names? Well, because if he has names, that means he's guilty. That means he's going to prison for a long, long time. Question is, does he want to go to prison for life or does he want to go for 20 years and have some kind of ounce of dignity left? Thank you, Devoted. Thanks for participating in the chat. Some great input. You too, baby doll. Everybody, shout out to all of you guys. What's up, WL? Big knife, blue jacket, pistol, baby shower gifts. Depends on whose baby shower you're at, I guess. Yeah, might even get less time than KK. But he doesn't want to do any time. And legitimately, he could be afraid. Or it could have been all part of his plan. He did, let's say, and I don't know if the crime scene was staged with binding runes and symbols, from Odinism. I'm not convinced of that yet. But even if there are, who's to say Richard Allen didn't do that on purpose to mislead, right? And then when he gets caught, he just slowly starts spoon feeding the defense in that direction. Overreacting to the guards with Odinism patches, which is their freedom in America to represent their beliefs, right? And for them, and the way that the defense painted as like some kind of white supremacist group, I don't even know anything about Norse mythology or pagan religions, and it was offensive to me because I'm an American. People are free to practice. We have a First Amendment. The only reason we have a Second Amendment is because we have a First Amendment. There's only one way to protect that amendment. Sometimes with the second. All right, guys. I wish I had more time today. All you members, please go check the community page for members only. The poll will be up. And if you haven't given me your input on members' choice for Wednesday, tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I need your feedback and your input. The poll will be out probably in 3 hours. And whatever you vote on, that's what we will cover tomorrow. So choose wisely. Yeah, that's true, huh? Yeah, good point, Don. Any patches, even if it was a I Love Jesus patch. Julia missing 411. Well, you better vote. You better vote. Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, that's all the time I have for you. Thank you so much. Again, shout out to Boston, Farmer, Freckled, and V sponsoring today's live stream. Everybody who participated and caught the live stream, shout out to you guys. Replay crew, you know what to do. Drop a comment. We'll get back to you. Let us know what you think about today's updates. Thanks, Devoted. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think. I'm always down for a good convo. Shout out to the replay crew. Thank you, Renee. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a great day. Enjoy your Tuesday. Until next time, peace.